Hey there, welcome back to our channel. My name's Mick and today I'm having a look at the ESM-4108 controller from EasySMX. These controllers are for Nintendo Switch primarily, but they also work on PC. Although it's worth telling you that if you want to play on PC, you will need a wire. It's a standard USB-C, USB 3. You'll need to plug it into your PC if you want to use it. So I'm not going to talk too much about uses on the PC because they're set up for Nintendo Switch, which means that the A, B, X, Y buttons are in Switch configuration. So if you're used to playing on a standard Xbox controller for Steam, which most people are, and you switch to one of these, it can be a little bit confusing unless, I don't know, maybe I'm just an idiot. I can't do it anyway. Once I switch from an Xbox controller to a Nintendo Switch controller, for a moment I forget where A and B is, and it's a mess. I'm a mess. Anyway, these are primarily for Nintendo Switch. You link them via the standard Bluetooth connection like you would with a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. They're a little bit more lightweight than the Pro controller. If you're used to having that kind of weight and heft in your hands, you will notice a difference. Very, very lightweight. Doesn't necessarily mean cheaply made, but it feels less expensive, less sturdy, less durable. Now, I haven't found there to be any problems with it. I've been using this one in particular, which is this design, the same design as pictured behind me. I've been using this for about a week and a half solid. I've played all sorts on it. I've played Monster Hunter Rise, I've played Doom Eternal, so quite intensive games, lots of clicking, lots of buttons, and no problem whatsoever, no latency, no slowdown, absolutely no problems with the responsiveness of the buttons. I've also we have 3 of these, and we're going to give 2 away on the channel or the site, so stay tuned for that. There'll be some details forthcoming. We've also got this one, which is also pictured behind me, and this one. I wish you could see these a little bit more clearly on the camera, because this one is an absolutely fantastic design. It looks like it's got a Chinese dragon design. It reminds me of something like Shadow Warrior 2. They're very nice controllers. They retail at about 23 or 24 quid. Pretty cheap, pretty affordable. They're not the most expensive or even the most inexpensive third-party controllers for Nintendo Switch, but they're pretty decent. They do have vibration motors in the grips, but you can't use your amiibos with them. They don't have an amiibo sensor in the center like on the Pro controller, and there's no gyroscopic aiming, so you can't do the fancy gyro. I don't know, do people like that? I don't use it. I can't use it. I'm not really selling myself in this video. Anyway, that's about the gist of it, really. I mean, it's a very decent controller for the price. If you're in the market and you've got 25 quid and you want an alternative to a Pro controller, because the Pro controllers aren't cheap, they're like 50, 60 quid. If you do want the alternative to a Pro controller, this is probably the best bet. I actually usually use the handheld grips, because I find that the Joy-Cons are just really difficult to use with my hands. I'm sure if you've got big hands like me, you probably find the same problem. So I tend to use things like the Hori Split Pad Pro. I would normally go for that, and when I play docked, I'd either just slot the Joy-Cons into the little controller that you get with it, or I'd use the Pro controller. So I've never really looked at third-party controllers, never had a reason to. So when I got a chance to review, I thought, yeah, I'll try it, see what it's like, because it would be nice to see if there's options out there for people who haven't got 60 quid to spend on a Pro controller willy-nilly. And these are pretty good. EasySMX have other designs on the website. I'm not sure exactly how many there are. On the box, it actually shows 5 different designs, which again, you won't be able to see that very clearly, but there's 5 different designs on the box. But I think there's more on the website. I don't know if they do custom designs. If they do, that would be absolutely fantastic. It's not stickers, it's a painted fascia. It's pretty sturdy. I have had a go at scratching just to see if I could get it to come off, and I can't, so it's pretty decent. I've also dropped this white one at least twice, and so far there's no nicks, dents or scratches on it to complain about. It's also worth noting actually that once you activate it, it does light up. And you can't really see that very clearly, but you can see it on the one in the picture behind me, the black one. It's not RGB, but they do light up. I think they're all blue. I don't think you can change that, but again, it's a nice little touch. It's not something you need. It's not something that anybody, I think, would probably base a purchase on. They wouldn't say, well, I'd rather one that lit up than one that didn't, but you might. And if you do, there you go, they light up as well. So that's it, that's the review. The 25 quid will get you a fairly durable, very lightweight, very, very nicely functional controller. They don't have all the bells and whistles of the Pro controller, but they're not going to, because they're less than half the price. But if you're after if you want something comfortable, fit your hands, especially for younger people, I think as well, because I mean, I'm a big guy, so the Pro controller being heavy doesn't really bother me. But you know, giving it to, you know, putting it in the hands of my, I don't know, 7-year-old daughter, she's probably going to prefer something like this than the Pro controller. So things like that are worth noting if you're playing or you're buying a controller for like a younger child. This is probably a better bet. Plus, you know, if that younger child drops the Pro controller in a toilet somehow, that could be a problem. They drop this in the toilet, it's a lot cheaper and easier to replace. So if that factors, if you've got kids that throw controllers down the toilet, kids, please don't throw your controllers down the toilet. You can also right now go on there and you get a discount if you use the code God is a Geek. Now, this is not an advert, we're not sponsored, this is just a review, but EasySMX have been kind enough to allow us to use a discount code. So if you do want to go on there and pick up one of these controllers, use code God is a Geek at checkout and they'll apply your discount. In the meantime, I've been Mick Fraser for God is a Geek, and you guys have been lovely. Bye.